So the day that I stopped listening to my parents for career advice was the day where I actually pursued myself and ended up being successful with an online coaching business where I helped over hundreds of Muslims transform their physiques and become stronger believers. Now, when growing up, my parents used to always give me the advice of go down to uni, get a degree, get qualifications. And there was a point where I did look up to my parents. At one point, I wanted to become a firefighter. I then wanted to become a physiotherapist. And then I wanted to go into mechanical engineering. My options used to change like the weather. But then I realized that there was a point where I realized that, you know what? Uni is not just the way forward. There's so much opportunities out there. I want to be able to pursue something that I'm going to actually enjoy and have a passion in. And one of the biggest tips that I can give you is that this is how you actually figure out what you want to pursue in life and whether you're going to be able to enjoy it. If you are able to do something for free without getting paid and you genuinely enjoy that, that's the kind of job role or that's the kind of business you actually want to pursue. When I started my online coaching business, in order for me to get testimonials, I was coaching clients for free. And when I coached clients for free, I got the testimonials, I got the results, then I put a price on my coaching. And even when I was doing it for free, I was enjoying it because I'm super passionate on fitness, because I come from a lot of history and background and experience in fitness, and also seeing people win and go through a transformation and becoming a better version of themselves, genuinely what made me happy. And that's the kind of advice I can give you. Wherever you can do something for free, whether that's a business, bakery, whatever it is, pursue that. If you enjoy it, that's the business that you need to pursue, right? Now, with me, I started working at a restaurant at a very young age. I started working at a restaurant when I was 14 years old. Believe it or not, till this day, I still work at this restaurant. It's a family business, uncle's restaurant. I only work there 1 day a week now. But when I first started, I started there as a part-time waiter at 14. When it came to 16, I went full-time. From 16 to 19, I was working full-time, doing my A-levels, contributing money towards home as well at that age, yes. From then going forward, that's when my mindset turned into a sort of business mindset where I didn't want to pursue education. I couldn't stand sitting in exams. And I remember sitting my GCSEs, right? And I fell asleep in most of my GCSEs, but alhamdulillah, I still got solid grades. I still got an A in maths, I still got a B in English, still got double B in double science that I did. And I think I got about 9 to 10 GCSEs. I think the only exams that I absolutely hated were geography and history. I hated them. And I remember I genuinely just put my head down and fell asleep in the exams. But anyways, going back to the topic. So I worked at a restaurant for a very long time, from 16 to 19, doing my A-levels, I worked at a restaurant, right? So whilst I was doing my A-levels, I was waking up, going to college, do my A-levels, come home, go straight to work. Then I used to come home around 12:30, 1 o'clock. The restaurant used to close at 11. And the restaurant's in Doncaster as well. I'm from Bradford. And I used to just rinse and repeat that every day, wake up the next morning, go to college. And I did that for 3 years straight. And I, till this day, still look back thinking, wow, how have I managed to sustain that at that age where I was smashing out college and I was smashing out job as well. And again, I used to contribute towards home as well. And then after that, I remember I then started university. So then I went from going full-time to the restaurant, then part-time into the restaurant, started university. I remember going to Leeds Beckett, and then I went to Leeds Beckett for like 3 months, and then I dropped out. I remember I chose primary education as a topic and hated it. They threw me a fat pile of books, and I thought, nah, this is not the one. I thought, I'm taking a gap here. So then I ended up in PlusNet. So I was working at PlusNet and then working at part-time restaurant. So for me, I was always pursuing wealth. I was always pursuing money. But during that time, I was also trying to set up little side businesses as well to see what would work for me. So I remember when I was 17, I started a car hiring business. And one of the cars that me and my uncle's mate that we bought together, and I was 17, was a Scirocco. And it was a Scirocco, I remember it was a night package GT TDI. Back then, it was a very nice car. We're looking at 2017 or 2016 from top of my head. Very nice car. And it caught a lot of eyes, and we bought this car for the purpose of starting a business, putting it out on hire. We managed to get a policy, and then within 3 weeks of giving the car out, and the car was fully booked for like 2 months down the line, and then obviously the car got written off. It wasn't within our kismet. We obviously billed the customer paid for the damages, we fixed the car, we sold the car, we moved on. During that time, I invested money into Forex trading, I did a bit of drop shipping, I did a bit of affiliate marketing as well. I remember there's a guy called Abdul Ilyas, Kashmir Marketing, the biggest scam on this planet, but I bought a couple of his courses as well. Believe it or not, I spent $2,000 on his courses as well. Going through his courses, tried, a few things in terms of setting up, stores and drop shipping, etc. It didn't work, but I always learned something from it. So I learned how to market, I learned how to use ads, I learned how to content, all these kind of things. All these skills that you learn, you'll always learn something, especially when you failed in a business or an opportunity. And then during those years, again, Forex trading, I remember when I was 19 years old, I invested $5,000 into Forex, completely lost that money. The company that I invested the money into, they ran away with the money. And then obviously there were other opportunities where I used to follow signals. I used to put like 500 quid in, $1,000, 500 quid. Most of the money were like my student loans as well. And then the money that I used to earn from the restaurant, my savings as well, I used to throw it into that as well. But again, it didn't work out for me. But one thing I never stopped was that I never stopped pursuing. A lot of you people will take risks, and a lot of you people will invest money. And let's just say you have one or two opportunities where it doesn't go your way, you've lost your money. Oh, that's it, opportunities out there are a scam. I don't want to invest money anymore. I just want to save money. I just want to buy a house and just live a comfortable life. That's how a brokey thinks. If you want to think like an elite, then you need to ask yourself, what is the value of the opportunity? How is it going to benefit me? And if you see true value in an opportunity, regardless of what it costs, you need to take that leap and you need to seize that opportunity. Because if you're the kind of person that's willing to go to uni and take out a loan and put yourself into a 40, 50 grand debt just for an education that doesn't guarantee you a job, then why are you not willing to spend £500, £1,000, £2,000 on an opportunity or a course or whatever it is that's going to help you level up, that's going to increase your network, get you into shape, promote your business, whatever it is, right? It all comes down to the way you think. Right. So anyways, back to the story. After I worked at PlusNet, I then went back into university. This time I did sports nutrition and exercise. And then this is now COVID, and COVID hit. My friend, me and my boy, Sammy, we set up a supplement business. So we set up a supplement business, and when it was COVID, funny thing is, I went back into full-time work at restaurant as well. So I was working full-time at the restaurant. I was at uni, obviously with COVID and lockdowns and stuff. I was going to work, we were only doing takeaways then as well, so it was a lot easy. I loved it, if I'm going to be honest with you. And then we started the supplement business. And I remember telling my parents about the supplement business as well. And my old man was like my old man's not very supportive when it comes to taking risks and opportunities. Like, our parents have been brought, especially if you've got parents who are from back home, because my parents are from back home as well. So my parents have always had that mindset of, get a job. In Bengali, they'll always say to me, Baro Sakhri Doro, this, that, get a comfortable job, get into a high paying job, get a degree, get a master's, whatever, right? And this was the advice that was always given to me till this day. I still get that advice, right? And what you have to understand is, it's outdated advice they are giving. You have to understand that we live in a day and age where so much has changed. If you ask your parents now about e-commerce, AI, affiliate, dropshipping, online coaching, stuff like this, they're not going to have a clue as to what these things are about. And this is why when you are wanting to pursue something in life, whatever you're wanting to pursue, you've got to be able to learn from people who have experience in that field. It doesn't make sense for me to go to my parents and ask advice for online coaching or to get into personal training. My parents have got no clue as to what that is, and they've got no background or experience in that particular industry. So what you need to understand is, yes, respect and gratitude is important for your parents, which is something I've always given. But in order for you to level up, you have to do things out for your happiness, right? Because your parents are wanting you to live life a certain way according to their happiness, but it's not happiness for you. So you got to do it according to your own happiness. Do things that are going to please you because it's your life. Take the risks and take the leaps, right? So anyways, so we ran a supplement brand. It was called BH Fitness Supplements, and we obviously distributed all these supplements. It was doing quite well, if I'm going to be honest with you. And then during that time, I remember there was like an opportunity where we wanted to a dropshipping opportunity came up. Some guy online, Muslim guy as well. We thought, yeah, it looks quite decent. So me and my boy, we invested into that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And then after that, we obviously packed in the supplement business, because obviously even that was sort of slowly dying down as well. And then once that was done, I remember I was in my second year of uni, 2021, and I left the restaurant because that's when I realized, because I remember when I did the supplement business, so up until this point, I gained a lot of weight. I was eating shit, I was sleeping late, I was just literally taking each day as it comes. And then after that, I thought, you know what, it's time to fix up and get into shape. So one thing I did was, I remember in 2021, I started running, I started training again, stuff like that. And then I got into shape. And once I got into shape, I thought, it's time to move on. And then I left restaurant, and then I went into working for Lidl at 2021 as a shift manager. So I was working at a restaurant 1 day a week. So from full time, I'm going back into 1 day a week. And then I'm working at Lidl as a shift manager. And then alongside that, I was basically still at uni. At this point, I was in my last year of uni. Now, when it comes to uni, I also pursued my personal training qualification and my nutrition and weight management qualification as well. Those opportunities came up, and I felt like this was a sign for me as well, where I wanted to pursue something that I was passionate about, personal training, helping people, etc. So when I got my qualifications, during that time, I was also getting into shape as well. And then I got myself into shape. Then I got my qualifications. And then whilst working at Lidl, I used that time to continue pursuing myself, studying the PT qualifications. I even got myself a coach as well, understanding how a coach delivers and, their sort of experience and, structure on how to obviously get a client into shape. And then when it came to 2022, so this was when I left Lidl and I pursued NatWest. That was the time where I pursued my business, I set up my business. So I went into personal training first, did personal training for 6 months, and then after that, I then set up my online coaching business. Now, till this point, I've not told my parents. But one thing I am going to say is I did tell my mum. I didn't tell my own man. My mum and my dad are two completely different people. Like, my mum at one point did have that typical mindset like my own man, but my mum's adaptable, my father isn't. My father's very stubborn. If I tell him one thing, he's so fixated on something, it's just very hard for him to sort of get his mind around the other opportunities and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's like talking to a brick wall. I don't mean to put him under the bus, but I'm only saying this because I know there's a lot of people that are going to relate to this as well. So I'm saying it for the benefit of yourself. But anyways, I told my mum, and my mum said, look, whatever you do, just make sure, obviously it's halal first of all, and second of all, just make sure that, whatever you're required to do, it makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy, pursue it. That's what she said. But she also was stuck in a little bit of a mindset of still have a stable job, you're still earning steady income. It's, more of a safety thing as well. But I didn't even think that way, if I'm going to be honest with you. Started my online coaching business. I was working NatWest full time. So when I was working full time NatWest, my routine was hectic. I remember when I was taking on clients, I coached clients for free, and my routine was from Monday to Friday, I'd work at NatWest. I'd come back from NatWest, I'd train at the gym. After gym, I used to basically work on my online business, and then after my business, go to bed, and then it was literally a rinse and repeat the next day. I used to take my laptop into work, believe it or not, because I had work to do on the online coaching business whilst doing my job. And obviously, as business were picking up, because as I was getting more traction on social media, this is where I started posting a lot more on social media as well. I was getting a lot more traction. Again, like I said, I coached a couple of others for free, got solid testimonials from them and transformations from them as well. That's what gained more traction. And then I remember, I think 5 months later, after starting NatWest, I went part-time into NatWest. So I thought, right, okay, now's the time for me to go part-time. And I was actually skeptical about making this decision. I even spoke to my mum. My mum was like, why do you want to do that? You're going to earn less income, this, that. And to be honest with you, my business, at this point, I had about 4 to 5 clients. So it wasn't enough to cover that sort of income hit that I was going to take from my full-time job. But I told myself it's a sacrifice. Short-term sacrifices always lead to the long-term win. And at that point, I also invested into a mentor as well. So I had a mentor pushing me to go part-time and telling me, look, bro, you need to put more time into your business, this, that. And I remember I was paying that mentor 300 quid a month as well. So paying that mentor 300 quid a month. And again, this is the benefit of having someone in your corner. It doesn't matter what you pay them. It's the advice that they give, and it's the direction that they give. When you have a coach, when you have a business mentor, when you've got someone holding you accountable, who are experienced in the field that you're trying to pursue, they're going to tell you to make the decisions that you need to hear. And sometimes you don't want to hear it, but they're going to say it, and it's a wake-up call for you to be like, yo, this guy's right, I need to do it. So I went part-time into NatWest, and then I was working at my coaching alongside with my NatWest job as well. Believe it or not, I was working at a restaurant one day a week. Till this day, I still do, because I only just go in to help out and cover my uncle's day off. But anyways, so then at this point, business is getting busier. 2023 now, I'm part-time at NatWest working on my online coaching business. Believe it or not, my old man still doesn't know at this point that I'm running this business. Because when I did my supplement business in COVID, he wasn't very supportive. And the last thing I want is for someone to just draw me down. Energy is currency. And again, it comes from your family as well. If anyone in your family is giving you that negative energy and that's giving you that sort of environment where it's bringing you down, the best thing to do is just don't say anything. Take the risk and do it yourself. If it works, it works. Tell them the news. If it doesn't, you're going to learn, move on. Simple as that. So, and I knew if I told my old man, what I'm doing as well, he's going to be like, why are you doing it? You went to uni, did X, Y, and Z. You told me you was going to do this, and now you're doing this. I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to avoid it all. I just wanted to pursue what I truly enjoyed. So 2023, we obviously worked part-time, smashed out the coaching business. 2024, again, coaching was getting busier. I was getting a lot more transformations. I was getting a lot more traction on social media as well. 2024 came, went to Palestine as well, alhamdulillah, in March. And then mid-2024, again, I was getting so much busy, I just took that risk of going full-time into my job. Again, had that conversation with mum. My mum wasn't too keen on it as well, because she was like, look, you're working 3 days a week only, use that income as a steady income to just sort of pay your bills and etc. But I knew that in order for me to grow and in order for my business to grow, I need to put more time into myself and the business. And even working them 3 days a week, it just wasn't enough time. Honestly, when you're running a business, time is the biggest asset and time is money. So I transitioned over to full-time into coaching, and alhamdulillah that my parents are now supportive of it. But I knew for a fact that if I told them back then when I first started, there would have not been any support, well, especially from my old man anyways. And just long story short, after a bit of context about myself in terms of what I've been through, is that, and like I said, with my business as well, with online coaching, I've spent so much money investing into the business. Like when I was on the come up and when I was making money, I wasn't going out there buying materialistic things. I've not been on a holiday yet. The only places I've been to abroad is Umrah and Palestine. I've not even had a proper holiday yet. I've not bought a fancy car. I've not bought fancy clothes. Believe it or not, I pretty much wear the same shit every day. Either I'm in gym clothes or casual wear. I very rarely go out. When you're on the way to come up, all these materialistic things that you are pursuing and you are buying, you're just basically losing value. You're losing value within yourself and you're just wasting your money. Use that money to invest into yourself, and that's exactly what I did. I invested into mentors, I invested into coaches, I bought courses, I lost money to make money back. But this is the key thing as well. You got to be, especially if you're someone that's looking to pursue a business, you have to be willing to lose money in order for you to make money. All them years that I used to waste money, I won't say I wasted it, but all these years where I invested money into like courses and so many other things that I did and opportunities, and I blew it all. I always learned a lesson from it, but I never stopped pursuing myself. I never stopped taking risks. I knew, because the thing is, they say you got to fail 10 times in order for you to see a win, or you got to fail 100 times in order for you to see a win. But when you hit that jackpot, that's going to make up for all them failures that you've hit in your life and in the past, and you get all them years back. And that's the beauty of just pursuing yourself. Continue to pursue yourself. Don't stop pursuing yourself. Best advice I can give is get into shape first. When I got into shape, this was the best thing ever. I invested into coach as well when I got into shape, because you're investing into not just getting a healthy body and a good physique, but you're basically investing into a strong mind. A strong body leads to a strong mind. You've got better focus, you've got more clarity, delayed gratification, disciplined. The list of benefits go on. And when you're performing optimally and when you're full of energy, that's when you're going to be able to make the decisions that you need to make in order for you to pursue business, in order for you to pursue yourself, in order for you to take risks. When you're fat and when you're out of shape, you've got no confidence, you've got no self-esteem, you can't take risks, you can't make the decisions that you want to make, you're lacking focus, you're lacking clarity, you're lacking mental fortitude. So this is why it's so important you get into shape and pursue yourself. And when it comes to following advice and getting advice from people, get advice from people who have the experience in terms of what you're wanting to pursue. It doesn't make sense for you to be studying business at university from a lecturer who's never run a business in his life. Yes, he knows the theory behind the business, but it's the practicality side of things where what's it actually like running a business, and you will genuinely learn a lot more from a guy who runs a business. Even a guy who knows semi-English and who runs a restaurant, he will teach you more about business than a business lecturer at university. So again, moral of the story is that anyone who is still watching this and you're still thinking of pursuing a career, and if you're still following your parents for career advice and etc., and it's something that you're deep down not happy with, or something deep down that you're not wanting to do, again, sit down, reflect, bird's eye view your life, write down the things that you love, write down the things that you enjoy, pursue that. You don't need to tell them. If they're supportive, then wicked. If they're not, don't tell them. Pursue it yourself. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. Just move on. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, drop me a message. I'll tag my socials below as well, so you can check out my socials on TikTok, Instagram and LinkedIn. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.